He's currently on death row, but he's looking for a pen pal. Let's see what happened. So up today, y'all, we got Timothy Burnside, age 45, and he's currently incarcerated in Nevada. But he's seeking a pen pal worldwide. But what did he do? Timothy is currently serving a death sentence for the unaliving of professional overseas basketball player Kenny Hardwick. Now, for us to really understand the motive behind this crime, we need to understand who Kenny actually was. Kenny Hardwick was born in Savannah, Georgia in 1961. Very close-knit family, very church-oriented. Everybody described him as a very charismatic person, but he had a natural athletic ability. Kenny went on to college at Morehouse College, and he also graduated with a BA in mass communication. After graduating college, Kenny went on to overseas, France, Ecuador, other places to go play basketball. But after his basketball career, he decided to come back to Las Vegas, where he would become a broker. Kenny was a man with a certain aesthetic. He dressed good, he smelled nice, he had money, he was connected, he was in the right circle. But all of those things would add up to be motives as to why Kenny was targeted on December 6, 2006. Let's get into it. Kenny decides to spend his night at the Las Vegas Strip. He goes to the Fountain Room, which is a high-end nightclub / lounge, which is located inside of Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. Also at the Fountain Room this night would be Timothy Burnside and Derrick McKnight, who would spot Kenneth and decide at some point of the night that he was their victim. The night is starting to wrap up, so Kenny decides to leave, but Tim and Derrick also notice that Kenny is leaving, so they head out as well. They follow Kenny 20 minutes away to a Jack in the Box, which is located in another city called Henderson. And no, Kenny does not realize that he's being followed, but once he pulls into the drive-thru, he ends up calling his child's mother. They begin to chop it up, but this is where he becomes vulnerable and the attack takes place. Derrick is the one driving. He ends up scoping Kenny out. That's when Timothy decides to put on this black bubble coat, hops out the car. He walks up to the driver's side of the window and lets off 4 shots into the car, unaliving Kenny. However, Kenny is still on the phone with his child's mother. So not only do we have a witness on the phone, we also have surveillance camera from Jack in the Box, plus the employees inside of Jack in the Box. Now, due to the crunch timing that they were in, they weren't able to retrieve everything off of Kenny, but the one thing that they did grab was a silver cigar case that was inside of Kenny's car. At some point in time, Derrick also gets out of the car. The two men run from Kenny's car back to their car, where they're seen trying to change their appearance as they're fleeing the scene. The police were called by several people, several witnesses, and some of the employees inside. Kenny unfortunately dies at the scene, but when the police get there, they realize that Kenny still has most of his valuables on him, which also the prosecutor would use later to show that this was a crunch time robbery. I've said this several times on my other videos. When there is a murder in commission of another crime, that equals capital murder. The case goes cold, but only for a few months, because in May of 2007, Derrick would be arrested in California. And now that they have him in custody, boy, is he gonna paint the full picture. So now it's June of 2007, and the FBI Fugitive Task Force and local law enforcement are gonna pair together to apprehend Timothy in San Bernardino, California. Now, his actual trial took place in Clark County in Nevada. Timothy's charges included first-degree murder with a deadly weapon, robbery charges, also conspiracy and burglary charges. So we have in 2006 was the unaliving of Kenny. In 2007, we have the apprehension of both suspects. In 2010 is when we get the conviction. But in 2015 is when Timothy would decide to appeal the death sentence, but the Supreme Court decided to uphold it, as they should. So at this point, it's been 19 years since Timothy has been locked up for the unaliving of Kenny. What does he have to say? Hello, beautiful people. My name is Tim. I'm an inmate here in Nevada, and my contact with the outside world is minimal. My search for true friendship and moral support has led me to this website where I can call upon on the sincere mind to hear my plaintive call for companionship. I am somewhat educated and enlightened individual. I consider myself to be honest, loyal, and compassionate, as well as open-minded and understanding. I relate to a person by their heart and not by their appearance or what they possess. If you speak, I'm here to listen. I may not always have the best answers or know how to say those perfect words, but my honesty is a guarantee. My reason for placing this ad is only to find someone whom I can trust, laugh with, and confide in. As simple as that sounds, those qualities are rarely found today. If you find that surprising, then chances are you are someone that I would like to meet. If so, please don't hesitate to take a step forward and befriend a lonely soul. Your soon-to-be friend, Timothy. 19 years behind bars, and all you're asking for is a compassionate soul to hear you out. But you ain't had no damn compassion on December 6, 2006 when you unalived Kenny. Right. I don't know. Your moral compass has to be off if you're even considering writing this, man. But if you do, you keep my name out of it, ho.